The New York Jets are rallying around Zach Wilson. New York Jets head coach Robert Saleh made that very clear during his media availability on Tuesday, September 12th. Is that the right decision? We explore today on Boy Green Daily. Let's roll, baby. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rodgers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday to you. We're here on Wednesday, September 13th. My name is Paul Liston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We're streaming live in 3 different places. The Heavy on Jets Facebook page, over 35,000 Jet fans. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25, and on my Twitter account as well, @BoyGreen25. We also upload the audio of this podcast separately for our audio-only listeners. You guys can do that wherever you find your podcast by simply searching for Boy Green Daily. This is a daily Jets video show for only 20 minutes. So hopefully you guys can join us and hop in. We've got an interesting theme to today's program, and it is on Robert Saleh's decision. Before we get there, let's bring in my talented superstar of a co-host for today's episode. That is Italy Jet, who is building an empire over there with all that talent he has over there with the brew and morning brew sports. It's phenomenal. And night, evening brew, all kinds of brew. All kinds of brew is brewing over there. Italy Jet, good morning, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Diamo, man. What a crazy 48 hours, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's been wild. People know me that both yelled at me during the game because here's the thing, real quick. I don't want to drone because I know we're in Cowboys week, but when the injury happens to Aaron Rodgers, and we ultimately find out yesterday, by the way, that he's officially out for the season, which was expected. That being Aaron Rodgers, of course. So a lot of people are down in the mouth, and then I am too, for obvious reasons, but we start getting into the game a little bit, so I get past that numbness. I'm still numb a little bit, but we're getting past. I'm like, we're in the middle of this game, baby. Let's go. So I'm putting these positive tweets out into the ethos, into the universe. People were saying the game's over. Shut up. The season doesn't matter. They were annoyed by my tweets, which, by the way, just fueled me to tweet them more. Okay, F you, pal. Let's go, Jets. Let's freaking go and rally the troops. And rally the troops they did, winning that game against Buffalo Bills in emotional, dramatic fashion. It was spectacular. But now we turn the page here, and people have been speculating. So Aaron Rodgers goes down, and everyone asks the question, what now at quarterback? Because obviously, and Robert Saleh even admitted this at his presser yesterday, you have to add someone. There's just not enough numbers. Zach Wilson is the only quarterback on the roster, and Tim Boyle's on the practice squad, who Saleh revealed will be elevated. We'll see whether he's elevated or truly signed to the 53-man roster. He may stay at QB3 and they bring somebody else in for QB2 for the future. But the point is that there will be a body added. But what body is still up for debate? And people have been debating that, obviously, over the last 24-plus hours or so. And Robert Saleh made it very clear at his presser yesterday. He emphatically backed Zach Wilson, saying this is Zach's team. He is our guy. And we're rolling with Zach, which leads us to our poll of the day. I will throw that up. You guys can also vote at the link. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Wherever those are, you can click the article link. And if you guys want to support the show, read that article. It takes 30 seconds. It's a very quick article. And also get involved in the comment section. That shows our heavy overlords that you're engaged and involved with the product. So we'd really appreciate that. Here's the poll today. Again, Jets head coach Robert Saleh emphatically backs Zach Wilson as our quarterback on Tuesday. This is Zach's team. We're rolling with Zach. I ask you in the universe, is he making the right call? Yes, Zach all day, or nah, should have upgraded, and should have upgraded being go get another quarterback that would immediately compete with Zach or take the job from Zach because a lot of people believe he's incapable. Right now, 68% of the fans say yes, Zach all day. Before I share my opinion and dilute the water, I shift this over to you, Italy Jet. Do you believe Robert Saleh essentially channeling his inner Dick Vermeil saying we will rally around Zach Wilson? Was that the right call?
I think rallying around Zach Wilson is not a bad idea. This feels so different. Like this team could have shit the bed, right? They could have totally, but they didn't. On the sideline, you saw Lazard, you saw Wilson rallying around him. Breece Hall, Gardner, and all those guys were like, hey, we got this. We're going to war. We're going to get through this game. I mean, a couple good throws. He scrambled somewhat, but even with the offensive line the way it was as well, they all haven't played consistently together. That was your first time seeing all 5 of them together. And now with Wilson being there, he scrambled, but he didn't do all the things that we thought Zach Wilson would have done last year. Like, and even after that interception, in Hackett's, they talked to Hackett about it, they talked to Saleh about it, they talked to Wilson about it, that, hey, don't worry about it, move on. We're going to be good. And he was. But here's the thing. I'm rallying around Zach Wilson. I want them to bring another quarterback in just as a safety net around the bye time, maybe even right now. But who I would get, though, is maybe like a Nick Foles, maybe a Wentz in there. I want someone that knows JD. Someone that knows JD. Even Hackett with Chad Henne. Hackett has a history with Henne. That's who a backup I would do. I know you're going to elevate Boyle, but just in case things are going to go wrong, I would look into those areas, and there's not much options, right? It's a crap situation. But if I am, like I said, Joe Douglas and Saleh, let's rally around Zach Wilson. This feels different. Me and you have talked about it, Boy Green.
Yes.
We talked about it. This is a different type of team, different type of quarterback. Just figure out the kinks, and we move forward. The season's not over yet. It's just the first game. First game.
It absolutely is. I will say this for all the people that have been, slamming on Zach and everything. Think about it in this way. Heading into that first game, Zach Wilson got 0 of the, starting reps. Those all went to Aaron Rodgers, obviously, because the plan was for Aaron Rodgers to play that entire game. Obviously, he did not. Zach Wilson is thrown into the fire of, first off, the cadence and everything that Aaron Rodgers, that's why we saw a couple of mistakes with like a false start or this or that, because Zach Wilson's cadence is different than Aaron Rodgers' cadence. So the game plan was for Aaron Rodgers. So Zach Wilson is literally wearing Aaron Rodgers' shoes, trying to run. Obviously, he knows the offense, but the game plan was designed around Aaron Rodgers' strengths, not Zach Wilson's strengths. They're not exactly the same quarterback, obviously. And Zach Wilson, despite those flaws, again, I'm not going to excuse that interception to Matt Milano. That was awful. It
was bad. You threw him right to him,
right between the numbers. I mean, I don't know what he was looking at. Well, I know what he was looking at. He was staring directly where he wanted to throw the ball, and that has to get better. But the thing I liked is when he got knocked down and had that horrible interception that's inexcusable. He had a conversation with Hackett on the sideline, and Hackett said, "Forget about it. Yeah, forget about it. Like, don't worry about it, kid. Just go back out there." And I think he was 9 of 11 for like 90 yards through the rest of the game. And I rewatched the tape, and so many key third down conversions, Zach Wilson delivered the ball where it needed to go. So I'm not saying Zach Wilson is going to become Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not saying that either. I agree.
I think the key is here, let's give the kid a shot. Zach Wilson said he's learned more. Robert Saleh yesterday at the presser said he is like light years beyond what he was last year. Let's give the kid a chance. He was the number 2 overall pick for a reason, and I'm excited about it. So, to me, there's a lot of names hanging out there in the universe, and I will say this. None of those you have to add a quarterback no matter what because of the situation. The numbers game, you have to. You have to add somebody. But for someone to just come in and take the job from Zach, which a lot of people want, it seems unrealistic outside of, again, a Tom Brady, who I think is incredibly unlikely. But if you could bring in Tom Brady, obviously his talent gap and proven credibility and all that stuff is so great that you could put Zach on the bench for that. But everyone else, to be blunt, are inconsequential. Jacoby Brissett, who, by the way, you'd have to trade for, is is better than Zach, more proven in all those things. Maybe not higher ceiling, but more proven in all those things. But like, what are we talking about here? How much better is he than Zach? He does not know the offensive system. He does not have any relationship with any of the players. So dropping him in the middle of all of this, how much better could that possibly be? So the Jets are making the right call here by rallying around Zach Wilson because you really have no other choice. And number two, let's see what happens at the bye. The bye, of course, for the Jets comes up in week 7. So they have all these games coming up, a difficult road, no doubt about it. They have the week 7 bye and then the week 8 Giants game. If the Jets are potentially going to make some crazy move here, I feel like closer to the bye is more likely as opposed to now. Because again, if you make the crazy move now, what do you say to Zach Wilson? You just said at the presser, he's our guy, we're rocking with him. And then you make some crazy move. I'm making this up, but Matthew Stafford, the Rams aren't going to do that. But Matthew Stafford, Zach Wilson's like, wait. I thought you said it was my team. So you just lied to the media. You lied to the press. You lied to me. So that can disrupt all the mojo and juju.
Yes.
And plus the Rams would never do that anyway. So again, the Jets are stuck between a pickle and a hard place here on September 13th. They have to rally around Zach Wilson. They have no other choice. By the way, I'm all about it.
And not only that, even before the Aaron Rodgers thing, they even reached out to Stafford, Stafford and the Rams.
They did, yes.
Even to get him in. And honestly, it was a blessing in disguise. As much as Stafford, with all of his head injuries and all the injuries that he's had in general, I'm happy for him with the win that he had. But overall, this system was built for Rodgers, Boyle, because of the Green Bay connection, the college connection with Hackett. Now, I think it's going to be built for Zach Wilson. We saw everything in training camp, what he has done little by little. It wasn't all perfect, but at least it's something that Hackett can work with and build up for it because of this scheme. And also, the guys have been saying it. The guys have been saying in training camp. They've been saying at the games. This is not the same old Zach Wilson. It isn't. He's gotten better and better, but we just give him a groove, hopefully, and figure it out.
Yeah, we got to see what it is. By the way, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because I don't think it's realistic at this point. But Brady, NY Jets FL on YouTube says Brady did not look good last year. Let me just give you the numbers. Come on, people. He had 44,694 passing yards. That was in the top 5 in the NFL last year. He had 25 touchdowns to 9 picks. Almost a 3-to-1 touchdown to reception ratio, and completed 66.8% of the passes. What the hell are you talking about, man? Tom Brady looked fantastic last year and showed no signs of slowing down. So, again, I don't want to waste time on it because I don't think it's a realistic option. But, I mean, you have to make the call if you're the Jets. But come on. Brady didn't look good last year. Come on, man. Come on. And to your point, there's been a couple of either players that have reached out to the Jets or the Jets have reached out to the players.
That's
for
correct.
A couple of those guys. And I'll float some of those names out. You mentioned Chad Henne. The Jets have reached out to Chad Henne. And let me also reiterate the message that Saleh said. So Saleh said whoever they bring in will not be competition to Zach Wilson. Chad Henne is a perfect example. Why? This guy is retired. He is a Mark Brunell level guy, a clipboard holder that can hopefully impose some wisdom with all his years in the league. He has no threat to Zach Wilson. That's the guy that they reached out to. Joe Flacco has reached out to the Jets to say, hey, if you want to run this back, I've been here the last 3 years. I'm willing to do it. Different offensive system, obviously, with Hackett coming. And by the way, absolutely not. Disgusting. No, thank you. Flacco, find it somewhere else. But Flacco reached out to the Jets. Jets reached out to Chad Henne. Another player reached out to the Jets. That Colin Kaepernick. He reached out to the Jets to engage interest. And we'll do a separate video today on that situation later. So you guys could stay tuned to the channel for that. But no thank you on that either. He hasn't been in the league in 7 years. So again, no thank you. Again, the Jets have to bring in somebody. But it's not going to be... I don't think it'll be a big name, but we will see. Again, Chad Henne, I don't know if he registers as a big name back from his Dolphin days, maybe, but he does not register as a big name. So we will see. Let us know. Continue in the comments if, again, you believe in this decision by the New York Jets to do this. And let's get a little ahead here. Obviously, you see the Cowboys star above your head. I'll be at that game. I can't wait. I've never been to Jerry's World in my life, so that should be quite an experience, I'm sure. To be there for that game. The Jets have been kicking the Cowboys' ass. I'll tweet out that stat later, but the Jets have been kicking. They haven't lost to the Cowboys since like 2008 or something. I mean, they've been taking care of business. including even a trip down there. That was the Fitzpatrick year that they went into Dallas and won that one. So I'm excited. What do you make of this matchup? The Jets are obviously a heavy underdog. I think the latest line I saw was like 9.5, 10 points. What do you make of this heading into week 2? Zach Wilson's first start of the season.
I mean, they put 40 points on the Giants, right?
The Giants stink, though. So
exactly. But that defense is real, man. Like, they have a very good defense, and their offensive line is good too. I think you can get to Dak, though.
I don't think their offensive line is great, though. Chuma Edoga. Yeah, you guys may remember that name. The former Jet. He was playing last week, and he got hurt, so we'll see what his status is.
We'll see about
gotten the Cowboys injury report today, but come on. Like, they're really good. Tyron Smith, a future Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Zach Martin, a future Pro Football Hall of Famer. Terrence Steele on the other side just got paid the bag. So they got a lot of individual pieces, but there's some weaknesses that could be exploited. Yeah,
I agree. I agree. I still think that they are a good team. Overall, as a whole, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be an away game, and it's going to be our first true test for this team, what they could be on the road and what they could be with Zach Wilson, what they can be with the running game. What's going to happen this week if we have some injuries or not? Is Lawson going to come back? I doubt it. The thing about this, though, is this is a true test to see what this team is made of. We've been saying rally around Zach Wilson. This is a perfect opportunity to show the world again. Then we can come back and win this. This is my score prediction as of today, Wednesday.
Okay. Sure.
I think it's going to be 27-20 New York Jets. I have this feeling. I have this gut feeling.
I love it. Here's the thing. Here's my advice. I know Hackett obviously is a diehard listener to my show, and I appreciate the support. Nice. Run the gosh darn football. Brees Hall is back. He's a friggin' alien. And Dalvin Cook, I know the numbers aren't efficient, and they don't look great. Dalvin Cook's going to be just Andy. So you have that 1-2 combination, which I believe is the best 1-2 running back combination in the league. You have the offensive line healthy. I like the 5 we have healthy. I think they're fine. I think they're just dandy. They can be average, which, by the way, I think is more than good enough. And this defense is number 1. Look at the levels. The biggest criticism of this unit was twofold. Number 1, that they can't create turnovers. Hello, my name's Jordan Whitehead. Nice to meet you. Or Ed Reed, or Pro Football Hall of Famer, whatever you want to call him. And then number 2 was just the safety position in general. Jordan Whitehead and Tony Adams, which, again, I haven't seen the final numbers on all the analytics from their first performance, but I'm going to be honest, if that's their biggest weakness, I think the Jets are going to be just fine from that perspective. And here's the thing. I also want to drop this nugget. Dak Prescott led the league in interceptions last year with 15. Okay? He has 0 so far this season because the Giants suck. But I'll tell you this. Heading into this game, I think there's a few gifts. I think the Jets are going to get a few early Christmas gifts in September, which are short fields, and that is a quarterback's best friend. You want to help out Zach Wilson? You want to say, hey, man, let's get him in a better spot? Give him short fields to work with interceptions, fumbles, and making plays. Tony Pollard ain't going to be running nowhere on this defense. So all of a sudden, Dak Prescott's going to be like, well, I guess I'm going to have to throw it around. They got some talented weapons. Brandon Cooks, Lamb Chop, CD Lamb. I love him. Like, Michael Gallup is a talented player. But all of a sudden, I think he can force Dak Prescott into some mistakes, which obviously can help out the Jets in short fields. I think that's key.
And I mean, and not only that, like he's kind of worse than Allen in a way. Like
he's definitely worse than Allen, which is the point. If you made Allen look human, what can you do to Dak? That's a fair point to make. Yes.
But not only that, but people are thinking it's the big time Cowboys. They have a good defense, but it's still
it'll Dak be hostile territory too. It's a crazy place to play. Yeah,
but it's Dak at the end of the day. You can get around Dak, and I think we will get around Dak. I have confidence that they got talent, but like I said, this is the first true test on the road to see what Dak can do from a 40-0 from the Giants. But we came back and won that game. It was like a Hollywood freaking movie. This is not some Hallmark shit. This was a Hollywood movie of a roller coaster, and that carries through. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, it will be the first for both teams. Dallas, their home opener, which should be crazy. And then obviously the Jets road opener, so to speak, the first road game of the season. Then they return home with the New England Patriots in week 3. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but circle. And what a great potential redemption story for Zach Wilson after all the this and the this and the this to potentially give it back in one of the biggest home games the Jets have had in a long time with all the demons they have to face. For Zach to potentially conquer this is a great story. We have a super chat coming in from Cam631 Laser, which, by the way, It was amazing for game day for the first time ever to do a video call online. We had so many wonderful Jet fans jumping on, and that's thanks to this guy. Cam631 Laser makes custom laser engraving for all you crazy Jet fans with wallets, keychains, and we have a bunch of giveaways we'll do. Got a box over here with all kinds of amazing things we'll be giving away. And so thank you so much for the super chat. And his comment is this: Gibson, Xavier Gibson, of course, will give us great field position. Wow. For Joe Douglas, okay, he's had some misses. That 2020 class is disgusting. However, okay, look at the draft class of 2022. Look at the undrafted free agent finds of Bryce Huff, Xavier Gibson now, Tony Adams. Like, oh my goodness.
Trey Dean, even in a way.
Yeah, sure. Who's, I believe, on the practice squad. So, like, you talk about some of these names, like Xavier Gibson in particular, who makes the 53-man roster in somewhat surprising fashion. Again, he performed very well, but, the drama
Tony
of Hard
Adams.
Knocks. Yeah, Tony Adams, of course. And he makes the roster, and he ends up winning you the first game of the season. I mean, it's incredible. So I'm excited, and this should excite you. Even if you're a Zach Wilson detractor and you say, I've seen enough of Zach Wilson, he stinks. The defense is amazing, and the special team is going to put you in great positions. That is a formula for winning. Of course, Zach has to seize the day and run the football, run the offense, and show everybody that he's this different man if you truly believe he is. And that, again, the proof will be in the pudding. But this will be exciting. Again, the Jets now have to look at their stretch and just take it one game at a time. One game at a time. You got Cowboys, then you got Patriots, then you got Chiefs, then you got Broncos, then you got Eagles, then you got to buy to breathe. Okay? Just go one game at a time. With this defense and this special teams unit, the Jets will be in every game that they play. It's up to Zach Wilson to be a game manager, but also selectively show that ability that made you the number 2 overall pick in the first place. I think all of that, in fact, will be key. All right, Italy, before we get you out of here, make sure you plug all of your different shows you and your people do throughout the week.
All right, I'm Italy Jet. I'm on social media platforms except TikTok. I'm on Morning Brew Sports Network with Jigga Man Porto. Shout out to Jigga. Everything he's doing over there, we're a team, we're a family. Wouldn't do it without him. He's freaking amazing at what he does. Everything MYJ. I do stuff with Jude Jets as well. I do stuff with the Batter Network with the Heat, and then Guy Boston Sports with Red Sox content. I know you New York fans. I get it. But it's going really well right now, and I will be in. Guys, hit me up. I will be in KC Jets game on Sunday Night Football. I'm really excited. I'm going with some of the guys from the X Factor, Brad Pocras. So pretty excited about that. And yeah, that's me, Italy Jet.
All right, beautiful. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. The 100+ people that are in live right now, and all the other people that have been in throughout the show or listening to the audio only version after. We got some great content. This will Italy is our last Jets guy for a little bit because we have several Dallas Cowboys people joining us on Boy Green Daily. I'm looking at this list. It's impressive. 3 straight Cowboys people coming on to give you behind enemy lines. And I will also say this, we have an extra Cowboys insider, one of the best in the business that covers Dallas Cowboys football, joining us later today for a big show. So hopefully you guys can check that out as well. I'm looking forward to that. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you later for that big Jets Cowboys. That will be beyond 20 minutes. So guys, stay tuned to the channel for that. And then of course, Boy Green Daily tomorrow morning at 7:30. Thanks everybody. Take care.
Ciao.